Hey everyone, the name is Erik Thor, and welcome to today's live stream slash video on Introverted Feeling. And Introverted Feeling, it stands next to Extroverted Feeling, and it stands next to Introverted Thinking and to Extroverted Thinking as one of the reviewing functions. So when you use Introverted Feeling, what you're doing is you're reviewing the world, you're grading it, scale 1 to 10, your feelings about something. What do I value? What do I like? What do I dislike? What is good and what is bad? What is a good thing to do? What is a bad thing to do? So introverted feeling, it flows around those functions: extroverted thinking, introverted thinking, extroverted feeling. But it is a subjective function. First and foremost, it is introverted. So it comes from the self and is then expanded outwards into the world. So it first starts with our thoughts and our intentions and what we feel and what we personally hold to be important and what we believe and know about ourselves and our inner life and our inner world and perspectives we hold and things we value and things we don't like and things we feel are us. And then it starts expanding into what we dress, what we wear, how we act, how we behave, what we say, and what we do. So introverted feeling types, they are introverted, but they are also feeling. And the feeling is what gives nuance. It gives a perspective. It gives a sense of a nuanced perspective on the world, a sense of original take, an artistic take on the world. So introverted feeling types, they're associated with sometimes strange, sometimes bizarre values, ways of dressing, ways of acting, ways of speaking that they feel are a result of their unique character, their unique personality, and their unique sense of identity. Introverted feeling types, while feeling types may not express a lot of outward emotion, they may not push out a lot or give or participate in, the day-to-day social, emotional drama or display or heat that is going on at the workplace or in school or in the office, But it is still a feeling type, so often it carries feelings inside. Yes, Carl Jung, he talked about how when an introverted feeler, they would carry emotions inside and hold them to themselves. When you do that, these emotions tend to become very intense. So what that means is often introverted feeling types are sensitive. Sensitive in the sense that they have a very sensitive inner emotional instrument. They are very reactive to what other people say and what other people do. They place a lot of importance on the self and their personal conduct and their personal values. But because they know these values are often subjective and because they know these values come from within the self, they can feel alone in having these views, like nobody else sees the world like I do, nobody else thinks the way I do. And they can feel afraid of judgment, afraid that other people will come and dismiss their ideas, dismiss their inner world, dismiss their values as something stupid or as something impossible, as something impractical. And the introverted feeling types, they can struggle with a sense of weakness or not being strong enough or not being practical enough, struggling with practical life matters, getting that day job, getting through school, handling all the grading systems, handling what everybody else is telling you should be doing, dealing with, the taxes, the bureaucracy, the formalities of life, all those things everybody has to do because everybody has to do it because that's how the system works. Yeah, introverted feeling places the core importance on the subject, on the self. And in that way, sometimes introverted feeling types can be associated with self-absorption, but I would argue for the most part, it is healthy self-absorption. It's a recognizing that the subject is important. And when this self-absorption grows and when this introverted feeling type gets to know themselves better, they also get to know other people better, not on the direct level of what other people do and what other people engage in or what other people are up to, but introverted feeling knows people's inside, their inner experiences. They see other people's perspectives. They entertain other people's viewpoints. They understand how other people think and how other people feel because they also understand how they think and how they feel. So they can insert themselves into other people's experiences, and they can read other people. They often call it reading other people, as if other people are books. And that aspect is highly associated with empathy. So when I talk about introverted feeling, I often talk about and associate it with empathy. I don't say all introverted feeling types are empathic, or that all introverted feelers have high emotional intelligence. That comes with maturity, that comes with experience, that comes with development. I know that when you start out as an introverted feeling type, you start out with a very sensitive inner world. You're very easily hurt. You're very much going to struggle with understanding your own feelings, and why do I want this, and why do I feel that way when everybody says I should think that way? Why do I want to do this when everybody tells me it's smarter to do that? Because you are coming from the subjective, and because you're just born and you're not given an instruction manual, it's hard to know how to relate to self and how to understand and interpret the self. And that only can come with experience. It comes from first, discarding your own feelings and shutting them down. And that's often what's going to happen. Often what the introverted feeling types fall into is that shutting down their own emotions, saying my own feelings are not important. Everybody else's feelings, that's very important. My own feelings, not important. Everybody else's opinions, very important. My own values and dreams, stupid and impossible. So that's how it starts. But then you start feeling the stress and the anxiety related to feeling that way. And you start getting to know yourself better. And you start realizing that I only have myself. I only have my own world. And that's, is there really anything more important? And then you start getting over the thought of failure or success, and you start realizing that's not so important. The important thing is engaging in the inner world, listening to your inner voice, hearing your perspectives, sharing your viewpoints with other people, expressing what you're thinking. And introverted feeling may not be known as a feeling function at first, but when you actively encourage it, you notice it. What you want to do when you're talking with an introverted feeler is you want to encourage them to share their feelings and to share their viewpoints, and you want to support them when they do. When they do share something, you don't want to say that's stupid and oh my God, how can you see it that way? You want to say, that's interesting. I've never seen it that way. And that is how you get an introverted feeling type to share their feeling function with you. It is not necessarily directly put on display, but there is another secret. Even if you're not encouraging introverted feeling types, what you will notice is they are driven by strong intentions. What they are doing is not rational. What they're doing is not based on science or data, or it's not based on what everybody else is doing. It's not something that people know to be successful. You can't look at what they're doing and see, oh, they're following that strategy, and oh, they're going through that plan, and oh, they're trying to achieve that result. You can never really know the outcome. But what you can know is they have some kind of personal investment in what they do. They feel personally invested in what they do, as if it's about them and their vision. And you notice that what they're doing is not something they're doing for other people, but they're doing it for themselves. So that coming from self to other people is the core quality. And it's, once again, not necessarily self-absorption, because it can still be what we want to do for other people. Introverted feeling can still be an empathic function. It can still be a caring function, because it can still be what we feel about ourselves that we want to do for other people, that we think is important to help the world, what we think is important to make the world a better place. So it can still come from a position of caring, and feeling is often a very benevolent function in itself. So it's not uncommon for feeling types to want to make the world better, to want to give something to other people, to want to help other people, to want to aid other people. And often introverted feeling types are known as great listeners, as very understanding, very empathetic, very open to other people's views. Yeah, introverted feeling, it listens to what you're saying, but it does not insert itself into what you are thinking. It does not tell you, I see that you're angry, I understand that you're upset, and understand that you're stressed. They're not putting in any emotion in what you're doing. They're just listening to what you are saying, and they're only giving you space to be yourself. Introverted feeling types try to get you to open up and to share what you're feeling. And so they're letting you express and put your own words on things and let you put your own emotions on things. They don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," and "Oh, that's terrible. God damn it, why did that happen?" They only listen, and they listen and they understand, and they make you feel important when you do. So that's the healthy thing about it. Introverted feeling is associated with intrapersonal intelligence. It's not just about knowing yourself and what you want and getting an awareness of self and your own personal hobbies and interests and your own unique personality and perspectives of the world, but it's also an understanding of other people, not of how other people act or what other people do for a living or what other people enjoy or so on. Introverted feeling places a core importance on the biographic version of self, in a sense of what do people think? What would people do in that situation? How would people feel if that happened? Yeah, introverted feelers place the core importance on, once again, intentions. What are your intentions? What is your purpose? Why are you doing what you're doing? So introverted feeling types, they may not be able to predict and say you're going to do that, or you're going to say that, or you're going to act that way, but they might have an idea about what's going on inside your head. So this makes them very good at people decoding, like, why did that person say that stupid thing? Why did he get angry? Why did he start a fight? Or why does he get into trouble all the time? Those abilities to know why people do what they do. That's very important, and a very important aspect of interpersonal intelligence. If you know yourself and how you would act, what you would be thinking in such a situation, you can also, to some degree, predict what other people might be feeling. And I also associate it with biographical memory. I find that introverted feeling types, they may not be known for their memory, and it's hard to get them to listen just because it's important. You can't really say, remember how to do that. To an introverted feeler, you're going to have to convince them first, why should they remember this? Why is this important to them? So you're going to have to tell them, if you're going to be a successful musician, you're going to have to remember this, and know this is important. You can't tell an introverted feeling type, you should just know this, you should just remember this. This is just important because it is important. You have to relate it to them and to their personal journey and their quest. You say you want to be a singer, you say you want to be an artist, you say you want to be a doctor. Well, then you're going to have to study this, and then you should know this. That's how you get to know an introverted feeler, and that's how you get them to remember what you're saying. And that's how you make it important to them. You have to give them personal significance. You have to put in personal stakes and things to make it more important to the introverted feeling types. Introverted feeling types, because their biographic memory allows them to remember a lot about themselves and their personal experiences, but also everything that relates to that. So everything related to their personal hobby or to their personal passion. They can remember almost anything if they think it has to do with them, or engages or speaks to them and to their purpose or their mission. So these are my 5 cents on introverted feeling. I'm going to check what you're saying. Ferry says, stream in the morning. Yes. Rachel says, love all of your videos. Thank you for the knowledge you share. Thank you for joining up, Rachel. Ferry says, people always made me feel bad for using my subjectivity. Yapping says, I know the struggle with Faye and Fee. My natural flow is extroverted feeling, but I value Fee, introverted feeling. So when I feel like I can't express that subjectivity, it feels like oppression. Yeah. Yeah, subjectivity is underrated. And of course, it makes sense. The system is not going to value introverted feeling because the system is the system. The system is extroverted thinking. And then the rules and what's reasonable and what's logical, that's not going to give you emotional nourishment, and it's not going to give you fire. And, we need that in our lives. Feeling types, to feel passionate, need to engage their feeling functions. And the passion is perhaps the most important. It's not important to just be introverted. The introversion is just the starting point. It is important as an introverted feeling type to nourish your personal perspective to the point where you are comfortable sharing it with other people. You need to have that flow from inside out. You can't keep it to yourself forever. You can't hide it forever. Share and engage and use and be yourself around other people. So you can't lock it completely by yourself and completely on your own. Not even as an introvert. Now, these are my 5 cents on introverted feeling. Thank you all for joining up, and do also read my article on erikthor.com/introverted feeling. So thank you all for joining up, and glad to have you all here. And now I'm heading up to work. Time to do some customer service. So see you all in the next video.